Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln pennies coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, you ever held a coin in your hand and felt like it had a story, not just a design, not just a date, but a real pulse of history? Because the coin I'm about to tell you about right now, it's not just any coin, it's a key to one of the most celebrated chapters of American life. So buckle up, because today, we're diving deep into the 2009 Lincoln Professional Life Penny, and trust me, you do not want to miss what makes this copper beauty one of the most talked about coins by collectors all over the country. When people think of pennies, most just toss them in jars, forget about them in their pockets, or slide them across counters without a second thought, but not this one. Not the 2009 Professional Life design, this one's different. This one captures Abraham Lincoln in his prime, standing tall before the old Illinois State House, symbolizing a time in his life when he was shaping the future of a nation with every word, every law, every speech. Now here's what makes it so exciting. In 2009, the U.S. Mint released 4 different pennies to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday, and each coin told a chapter of his life. But the third one, the Professional Life design, just hits different. That image of Lincoln standing confidently, representing his years as a successful lawyer and politician, it's more than just metal, it's history carved into copper, and that's what gets collectors fired up. So let's talk about what makes this specific 2009 Lincoln penny so incredibly special. First off, you've got to know that not all of these pennies were created equal. Some were minted in Philadelphia, some in Denver, and a smaller number in San Francisco as proofs, and here's where the treasure hunt begins, because hidden within those mintings are errors, strikes, and conditions that send the value soaring in collector circles. Have you ever heard of the satin finish versions? Oh yes, they were only released in mint sets, and they have this almost velvety texture that you don't usually see on normal coins, and some collectors have gone crazy over them because they shine just right under a lamp. Now imagine having one of those still sealed in its original US Mint package, untouched, no fingerprints, just sitting pretty waiting for a serious collector to come along. And what about double die errors? That's the jackpot territory. A double die on the Lincoln Professional Life penny might show Lincoln's coat, his legs, even the lines in the State House behind him with a doubled appearance, and that's what gives these coins their power, because suddenly, it's not just a penny, it's a rare anomaly, a collectible with personality and uniqueness. There was even a case where a collector from Illinois discovered a 2009 Professional Life penny with heavy die gouges across Lincoln's shoulder, giving it a war-torn appearance, and guess what? It sold in a local auction for a very impressive price, because that kind of flaw doesn't just devalue a coin, it makes it one of a kind. Collectors want rarity, and this coin has delivered that again and again. Now let me give you a tip that real coin hunters never forget: condition is everything. If you find this coin in your change and it looks circulated, hold on to it, but don't stop there. Search for the ones that still have sharp edges, bold lines, clean surfaces, because uncirculated or near-perfect condition pennies from this series have been known to sell for much more than face value at coin shows and private auctions. And don't overlook the proofs. The 2009 Professional Life penny minted in San Francisco was released in limited proof sets only, and their mirrored fields and frosted devices make them shine in a way that's unmistakable to the trained eye. If you've got one of these tucked away in a drawer, you might be holding onto something very, very special, especially if it's graded PR 70 or close. Collectors often travel across cities just to grab a high-grade 2009 Professional Life cent, especially when it's certified by PCGS or NGC in those pristine conditions. Some sales in California and New York have gone well beyond expected prices just because the coin was perfect, untouched, and rare in all the right ways. So if you're thinking about starting a coin collection, or maybe you're already knee-deep in this thrilling hobby, you've got to keep your eyes peeled for the 2009 Lincoln Professional Life penny. Check those old change jars, go through inherited coin albums, search rolls from the bank, because that one tiny cent might just be the treasure you never knew you had. The 2009 Lincoln cents were more than just coins, they were a tribute, and the Professional Life design holds a place of honor in that tribute. It reminds us of Lincoln's years building laws, building leadership, and building America, And when a coin has that kind of meaning behind it, it becomes more than currency, it becomes a collectible legacy. Collectors all across the United States, from coin shows in Texas to antique dealers in Pennsylvania, are on the lookout for these coins, especially those with high grades, errors, or low mintage varieties. It's not just the age of the coin that adds value, it's the story, the scarcity, and the condition that brings excitement to every collector's heart. So what's the original market value of this coin? Well, just one 2009 Professional Life Lincoln cent in pristine uncirculated condition, or with a stunning double die error, has been known to sell for as high as $150, and in some proof examples, even more. That's right, a coin you might overlook could be worth much more than pocket change. If you're holding on to a few of these, or maybe planning to hunt for some this weekend at a flea market or coin expo, let me tell you, you're on the right path. This is a coin that continues to surprise, continues to rise in demand, and continues to capture the hearts of collectors everywhere. So let us know in the comments, have you found one of these yet? Did your coin come from Philly, Denver, or is it one of those gorgeous San Francisco proofs? We want to hear your stories, your finds, your values, because this channel is all about learning and growing together as coin lovers. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed learning about the Professional Life cent, subscribe if you want more deep dives into rare and valuable coins, and hit that bell so you don't miss what we're uncovering next. Top 2, we're diving deep into a penny that might seem small at first glance, but carries massive excitement once you know its story. Yes, we're talking about the 1974 Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin that's not just a regular piece of copper but a real conversation starter among collectors and treasure hunters across the nation. If you've ever found an old penny in your pocket change and thought nothing of it, you might want to take a closer look next time, because this 1974 penny could be hiding some rare surprises you never imagined. Now, this isn't just another coin in your jar. This is one of those coins where condition, metal composition, and hidden errors can change everything. Some versions of the 1974 penny aren't even made from what you'd expect. Yes, we're going to get into that mystery too, so stick with me and don't miss a word of this, because even the tiniest detail could be the difference between an ordinary coin and a once-in-a-lifetime find. Let's first talk about the design that's been loved for generations. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, so iconic, so rich in history, and the Lincoln Memorial standing proud on the back. But in 1974, something unusual was brewing behind the scenes. There were experiments, secret tests, changes in metal composition, and a series of trial strikes that didn't follow the usual rules. And some of those made it out into the public before anyone realized what had happened. That's where the thrill begins. Yes, we're talking about the legendary 1974 aluminum Lincoln penny. Though not officially released into circulation, a few of these experimental coins were struck and somehow escaped into the wild. Only a tiny handful are known to exist, and if one ever shows up in public, it becomes an instant sensation. Just imagine finding something so rare, so secret, that the government itself had once tried to get them all back. That's the kind of thrill that makes collectors' hearts race. Now let's shift focus to the regular copper 1974 penny. Even this version can be valuable when it comes with errors or is found in uncirculated or high mint state conditions. Think double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and especially those crazy planchet flaws that make each piece totally unique. These aren't just small defects, they are treasures for collectors who hunt for anything that makes a coin stand out from the rest. Let's say you find a 1974 penny with a bold double die. That means Lincoln's profile or the word Liberty might appear with a ghosted shadow or duplicate impression. These are among the most desirable types of errors and can fetch great money in coin shows or private sales. And if you spot one with a die break or missing letters due to a grease-filled die, you could be holding something truly rare. Remember, even a tiny error can turn an ordinary penny into a collectible worth hunting for, and the way collectors look for these? It's all in the details. Lighting matters, a magnifying glass is your best friend, and keeping those coins untouched by hand is a golden rule. So many coins lose their potential value just by being handled carelessly. If you think a coin could be rare, put it in a soft sleeve, avoid cleaning it, and get it checked by a grading expert. Those small steps can help you protect a possible hidden treasure. Now imagine taking that coin to a coin show or auction house. That's where things get exciting. We've seen 1974 pennies with unique errors sell for eye-popping figures in cities like Chicago, Dallas, and even small coin shows across the Midwest. Some high-grade uncirculated versions have gone for hundreds, while rare error specimens have crossed into the thousands. And if, and that's a big if, someone ever discovers one of those aluminum trial strikes in circulation again, it could make headlines nationwide and become worth a fortune. Collectors who know how to hunt for varieties and errors are always on the lookout for 1974 Lincoln cents. And this coin is so well known among the community that it sparks immediate attention anytime a new discovery is announced. Whether you're just getting started or you've been collecting for years, the 1974 penny is one of those coins that keeps the fire burning. Every time you see one, you wonder, could this be the one? Could this be the rare version everyone talks about? So here's your tip: if you want to start looking, don't ignore the pennies in your change. Take them out, look closely under good lighting, check the date, check the condition, and most of all, examine for any strange marks or doubling. Compare with trusted coin reference sites or guides, and when in doubt, reach out to your local coin dealer or community online. This is how discoveries are made and how the most ordinary finds become legendary stories told over and over again by collectors. Every collector remembers that moment when they found their first rare coin. And that moment could be waiting for you in your very next handful of change. The 1974 Lincoln penny is still out there, quietly hiding in drawers, jars, boxes, and change machines. And someone, maybe you, might be the one to uncover a coin that changes everything. That's what makes this hobby so exciting. Every single coin has a story, and this one is screaming to be discovered. And now, the part everyone waits for, the value. So what's the original market value of this penny? Just 1 cent. Yes, that's right, it entered the world with a face value of 1 single cent. But what happens after that, as you've heard, can be magical. This humble coin has been known to sell in auctions from a few dollars to over $1,000 for special errors and rare grades. And in the case of those ultra-rare experimental aluminum pieces, well, those are priceless to collectors and museums. So if you've got a 1974 penny in your collection or even in your pocket, treat it with care, because you might be holding a piece of history that's far more special than you think. Top 3. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, maybe this tiny coin in my pocket is hiding a big secret? Maybe something so rare, so unique, so full of mystery that collectors across the country would go wild for it? What if I told you the 1982 Lincoln penny might just be that coin? So don't blink, don't scroll, because today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, a cent that changed everything for collectors and mint historians alike. The 1982 Lincoln penny isn't just one penny, it's 8 different ones. That's right, 8 varieties released in one single year. You heard that right. This coin came during a time of major transition for the U.S. Mint, and what followed was a whirlwind of metal changes, design adjustments, and hidden rarities that only the sharpest collectors have managed to uncover. If you're a coin lover, a treasure seeker, or even just someone who loves a good mystery, you need to stay with us until the very end, because this penny could be sitting in your house right now. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1982 penny so incredibly special. First off, this was the year the U.S. Mint switched from using copper to zinc for its 1-cent coins. That's right, before 1982, Lincoln pennies were made of 95% copper, but rising metal prices pushed the mint to look for a cheaper solution. Enter the copper-plated zinc penny. But this switch didn't happen overnight. No, it happened mid-year, which meant both copper and zinc pennies were struck during 1982, and not just that, they were made in different varieties with different lettering sizes too. That's how we ended up with 8 different versions of the 1982 Lincoln cent. We're talking large date and small date varieties, in both copper and zinc compositions, and struck at different mints. Philadelphia and Denver both had a hand in this historic shift. Some of these combinations are far rarer than others, and that's where collectors get excited. That's where the value lives. Let's pause here and imagine something thrilling: a collector sitting at a flea market in Kentucky, flipping through a handful of old change when suddenly, they spot a 1982 small date copper penny. Their hands start shaking. They know what they've found isn't just another coin, it's a treasure. Some of these rare varieties are so sought after that collectors have paid big amounts for them at coin shows and auctions. That's the kind of excitement this penny brings. Now here's the collector's goldmine tip: the best way to identify these varieties is to use a small scale and a magnifier. A copper 1982 penny will weigh around 3.11 grams while the zinc version weighs about 2.5 grams. Just that weight difference can reveal so much. And when you combine that with the large date or small date features, you could discover a rare gem hiding in your pocket change. And don't forget, one of the most famous finds happened when a collector discovered a 1982 small date copper penny, something the mint never officially confirmed even existed. That one penny made waves in the coin community. It shocked even veteran numismatists. Why? Because the Denver Mint wasn't supposed to strike small date copper cents. That means someone out there is holding a minting mistake, a freak accident that turned into a jackpot. So here's the tip for collectors watching this right now: don't ignore those pennies sitting in jars, drawers, or coffee cans. Pick them up, weigh them, study the dates, look at the shape of the numbers. The 2 and 8 can tell you a lot. Every little detail matters with 1982 pennies. Especially that small date versus large date difference. Learn to spot it and you could uncover a prize. And let me tell you something else: coins like this aren't always found in museums or behind glass. They've been found at local pawn shops in places like Texas. They've been pulled from pocket change in New York. They've been found in junk drawers in Ohio. That means they are still out there, still waiting for someone like you to discover them, so don't wait. Grab your scale, grab your magnifier, and start your treasure hunt today. Even if you don't find the rarest variety right away, the thrill of the hunt is what makes collecting so magical. And who knows, maybe the next great discovery will have your name attached to it. The 1982 penny is more than a coin, it's a turning point in American coinage history. It marks the end of the solid copper era and the beginning of a new metallic chapter. But within that transition lies mystery, confusion, and incredible opportunities for collectors who know where to look and what to look for. And yes, people have sold these rare varieties in auctions and private deals for some surprising numbers. That one 1982 small date copper penny? It was reported to sell in a private auction for over $18,000. Can you believe that? A 1-cent coin from a pocket turning into thousands. That's not a dream, that's real, documented coin history. So my friends, if you enjoyed this story, this hunt, this journey through one of the most mysterious pennies in American coin history, hit that like button, drop us a comment with what you found in your change, and subscribe so you don't miss the next rare coin video. Top 4, we're diving into the 1981 Lincoln penny, a coin that's often overlooked, but believe me, it's got stories to tell and surprises to reveal. This isn't just any ordinary penny. The 1981 Lincoln cent stands at the edge of a major transition in U.S. coinage history. It's one of the last pennies to be made primarily of copper, right before the shift to the zinc composition that happened the very next year in 1982. That alone gives it a place in history and a heartbeat for collectors. But wait, it gets even better. You see, not every 1981 penny is the same. There are two types of mint marks and two different styles of lettering known as Type 1 and Type 2. Yes, even the tiniest details like the shape of the S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint can mean the difference between a regular penny and one that's highly sought after by serious collectors. And let me tell you, those errors. Some of these 1981 Lincoln pennies come with jaw-dropping minting mistakes. Double dies, weak strikes, off-center cuts, and even missing letters. These little flaws? They make a huge impact. Imagine holding a coin where the letters Liberty or In God We Trust are faint or completely gone. Collectors love these wild rarities. Some pennies show incredible doubling on Lincoln's eye or beard. Others have strange streaks from improper planchets that somehow escaped into circulation. And the best part? These errors aren't just rare, they're valuable and exciting to chase. Now here's a little tip for all the passionate collectors out there: always check the weight of your 1981 penny. If it weighs close to 3.1 grams, you've likely got a solid copper penny in your hand. If it feels lighter, it might be a transitional error, possibly struck on a zinc planchet meant for the following year. That kind of discovery? That's what dreams are made of. And never ignore the proof coins from San Francisco. These were specially struck with a polished finish and have that mirror-like surface. If you find one with a clear Type 2S mint mark, especially in beautiful condition, you're holding something truly special. Collectors across the U.S., from Chicago to Dallas, have found 1981 Lincoln cents that shocked them. Some of these coins have sold at auctions in Florida, California, and New York, making headlines for their rare traits and unbelievable prices. These aren't just stories, they're real moments where ordinary people became lucky collectors overnight, so keep your eyes sharp and your change jar closer. That penny in your pocket could be the one coin someone's been searching for. The 1981 Lincoln cent is no small player, it's a key to America's coinage shift, packed with mystery and value. Collectors are falling in love with these older Lincoln pennies more and more every year. With rising copper prices, error craze, and nostalgia booming in the coin world, 1981 has taken a spotlight in the numismatic scene like never before. This coin is now more than just a relic, it's a hot commodity, and let's be honest, there's something magical about finding history in your own home. That coppery shimmer, that old-school feel, that tiny glimpse into a different era, it gives chills. That's what makes coin collecting so powerful and so personal. So before you toss that penny aside, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure. And if you find a proof Type 2 with clean surfaces and a sharp strike, it could go for hundreds, even more in the right market. These pennies are popping up in estate sales, old bank rolls, flea markets, and even pocket change from grandma's cookie jar. Imagine buying a soda and getting back a coin worth more than your weekly groceries. That's what makes the hunt so thrilling. Collectors, keep your magnifiers ready and your instincts sharp. The 1981 Lincoln cent is still out there, waiting to surprise someone who takes the time to look closer and care deeper. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for. Some of these 1981 Lincoln pennies, especially those with rare Type 2S mint marks or dramatic double die errors, have been sold in top auctions for hundreds of dollars. One example even fetched nearly $700 in certified mint state at a major coin show. Top 5, and last coin. Imagine you're holding a tiny piece of copper in your hand, a coin that's been through pockets, cash registers, glove boxes, maybe even dropped on sidewalks or hidden in drawers for decades. That little penny could be from 1978, and what if I told you it might not be as ordinary as it looks? Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about a coin, it's about hidden treasures, collector dreams, and valuable errors that can turn 1 cent into a serious payday. The 1978 Lincoln cent looks simple, right? But trust me, there's more under the surface than most people realize. This penny was struck during a turning point in U.S. minting history, and while millions were made, only a few came out with errors so special they've become hot property among collectors. Those aren't just mistakes, they're golden tickets for coin hunters like you. One of the most exciting things about the 1978 penny is that it was made just before the metal composition was about to shift forever in the early 80s. That means this coin is made of a full copper alloy, not zinc-coated like the newer ones. And collectors absolutely love that. The weight, the tone, the feel, it's all vintage charm, and that alone makes it more desirable for many old-school coin enthusiasts. But let's get into the real fun, the errors. Some 1978 Lincoln cents have doubling on the letters in Liberty or the date itself. Imagine spotting that little double stroke and realizing it's a rare double die error. These don't just pop up every day, they're hiding in plain sight in jars and drawers across the country. Another amazing variation is the off-center strike. Those coins that were misaligned during minting can bring in serious interest if they're off enough but still show Lincoln's face clearly. collectors go crazy for misstrikes with clean details and good balance. And get this, there are also reports of 1978 pennies with die cracks running through Lincoln's face or even through the memorial on the reverse. These cracks may seem like flaws, but they're exactly what collectors chase because no two are the same. Each one tells a different story, and speaking of the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial design is iconic. But did you know some 1978 pennies show ghost images or extra columns due to die deterioration or clash? These phantom details might not look like much to the average eye, but to a collector, that's a gem hiding in plain sight. If you're serious about collecting, here's a tip you must follow: always check the weight of your penny. A genuine 1978 Lincoln cent should weigh around 3.11 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, something's off, and that might just be a sign of a minting anomaly. It could be struck on the wrong planchet or from foreign metal stock. That's exactly the kind of coin that shows up in online auctions and gets serious attention. Now listen closely, because if you've got rolls of old pennies from the 70s, do not overlook the 1978s. Especially ones from Denver, they usually have a little D mint mark right below the date. But even the ones without mint marks, which came from Philadelphia, can be just as valuable if you spot the right error or die variety. Collectors across cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Dallas have found 1978 pennies with sharp strike-throughs or retained die breaks that sold in coin shops and auctions with surprise bidding wars. These aren't fairy tales, they're real coins that real people are cashing in on. The demand is growing, and as more people enter the world of coin collecting, the rarer 1978 pennies are getting harder to find in good condition. That's why if you ever come across a clean, uncirculated 1978 penny, especially with shiny luster or unique striking, don't spend it. You hold on to that thing like a hidden treasure, because the value can spike depending on market demand and error popularity. One important reminder for collectors: always examine these pennies under good lighting with a magnifying glass. You don't need fancy equipment to find rare errors. Just your eyes, some patience, and curiosity. You'd be surprised how many people discover rare coins while simply organizing their loose change on the kitchen table. Keep your eyes peeled at flea markets, garage sales, and estate clearouts. Sometimes people sell whole jars of old coins without knowing what's in them. And yes, the 1978 Lincoln penny with the right error or rare strike can be a standout that changes your collection forever. If you're lucky enough to own one with visible doubling, clear die clash, or off-center alignment, congratulations. You may just have a rare find sitting quietly in your house. These coins have been seen at small auctions and sold for over $25 depending on condition and visibility of errors, so now it's your turn. Go check your old coin stash, call your relatives, look through those dusty jars, and don't ignore the 1978 Lincoln penny. It's not just a piece of copper, it might be a collector's dream. And if you're passionate about coin hunting, always stay curious, always research your finds, and never let a rare cent slip through your fingers.